Well, we've made it through another week, haven't we? Well, we're at the beginning of the day. That's the last day of the week. Friday. Thank God it's Friday. I think I just dated myself, didn't I? Probably some of you don't remember that movie. Thank God it's Friday. Not just a restaurant. It was actually a movie back in the the disco days. Yeah, that's right, the disco days. I was around for bell bottoms and tight pants that you could see pulses in and collars that went out to your shoulder. Oh my goodness, were those the days, right? How you doing this week, right? Are you ready for the weekend? Yeah, gosh knows I'm ready for the weekend. No big special events going on. Of course, my big event was Valentine's Day weekend, and it was amazing. Yours rocks too, right? I don't care whether you spent it with your special someone or whether you spend it by yourself. Always make the days uniquely you. And now we're going to talk a little bit about how you can do that by embracing your quirky side and thriving. Before we go there, let's get to the question of the day, right? Have you laid the groundwork? So over the course of the week, I've asked you things like, how do you feel and how do you want to feel? Of course, to get from how you feel to how you want to feel, there's going to be a process, things you're going to need to do. Asked you how are you using your talent, right? And then we ask, what do you want or need to change? And then we ask about what you really want, what you want, right? And so if you think about all those things, you're going to come up with a gazillion ideas, and you're going to have to build a plan. So the question today is, have you laid the groundwork? Have you done your prep work? Or have you done your homework, right? And if you haven't, get busy. All right? Get busy living or get busy dying. Isn't that the name of that movie? Okay, it was 50 Cent, wasn't it? Anyway, so if you haven't laid the groundwork, well then take some time today before you start your relaxing weekend doing whatever fun events you have lined up, and jot some notes down. Well, I feel like this and I want to feel like that, and here are a few things I can do to change that. Here's some of the talents I know I have, and here's how I can use them to improve my world, my life, my job, right? My kid's life, my love for my special someone. And I really want this to happen in my world. I want a new job. I want to start my own business. Okay, you got to have steps to do that. You got to lay the groundwork so that will start to happen for you. All right. So, and in the process of all that, I want you to be you. And as a part of that, you're gonna have to embrace your quirks, your idiosyncrasies, your eccentricities, right? See, let's be honest. We all have quirks. I'm passionate about the rock band Kiss. I love them to death. I started listening to them in 1976. Maybe it was I think it was actually 75. Way back during the destroyer days. My dad was stationed out in Germany, and I was out there with him, and of course I grew up with my dad being in the military, so I was tuned into all kinds of music. Grew up listening to Merle Haggard, and Johnny Cash, and Tammy Wynette, and Earth, Wind and Fire, and Lou Rawls, and just you name it, I heard it and listened to it. So I had a very eclectic music collection myself. But then a friend at school let me borrow his Destroyer cassette. Oh my goodness. And I've never turned back. My mom actually said it's going to be a passing phase. Of course, that was 40 plus years ago. So, for me, it was collecting things, creating costumes, dressing up like Kiss any number of times. Drawing became a thing of mine. So we all have our unique quirks. Maybe you collect vegetables shaped like movie stars. Maybe you love reciting Old Norse poetry. Maybe you love going to furry conventions. Maybe you rather go to Dragon Con conventions. Here's the thing. I want you to discover more freedom by learning to accept yourself and your idiosyncrasies that make you special. That's right. They make you special. They don't make you weird. They don't make you silly or dumb. They make you special. But I know the title is here's embracing your quirky stuff, and I want to share with you. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Hold on 1 second. I'm back. Sorry about that. I want to share with you some of the benefits of embracing your quirky side before I tell you a few ideas on how to do it. I want to start with something I believe in passionately, is living authentically. You can make your own decisions instead of going along with the crowd. Yeah. I know there's things where going with the crowd is better, but when it comes to living your own life, I want you to live your life your way. As long as you're not hurting anybody in the process, go for it. Do your thing, son. All right? Spend time on activities that are meaningful to you. I don't care if they're viewed as quirky, weird, odd, if people are raising an eyebrow, giving you that Spock look. Oh, fascinating, right? Let your genuine nature shine through, and then you will shine brightly. You'll attract new people into your world. You'll attract friends who are actually going to appreciate your true personality. And isn't that what you want? Huge benefit, right? And in the process here, you're going to boost your confidence. As you start getting those new friends and appreciating yourself and your personality, you'll become and feel comfortable with you. Huh? Isn't that awesome? Take pleasure in who you are. Take pleasure in what you do. Be driven by your passions, regardless of whether they match whatever's going on in the rest of the world. I don't care what Google Trends is saying. If you like to do it and it's not hurting anybody in the process, knock yourself out, girl. All right? Develop those skills. Your quirks may be trying to tell you something, right? So develop the skills. Use them to identify your natural talent. Remember, we talk about it's one of the questions I hit you with every week. Maybe there's a flair for needleworks buried somewhere underneath there. Maybe you have this quirkiness for electronics. Maybe you like toying with analog gears and machines. I don't know what it is. Maybe you like old muscle cars. All right, we'll dig into that a little bit deeper. Is it the style of them? Is it the engine? Is it that whoop, 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 whoop they have when you have a nice one sitting at the stoplight? Develop your skills, okay? And you'll become more tolerant. See, coming to terms with your own peculiarities is going to help you in dealing with the peculiarities and idiosyncrasies of other people. You'll become more open-minded about the people and the world around you. See, show your support for a coworker who's learning to play the harpsichord. Go on, give them a pat on the back, right? Or maybe they're training for the upcoming hula hoop convention. Huh? That's kind of cool if you think about it. Hula hoop's around forever, right? That's their quirkiness. Rock on, okay? And here's a really cool one. If you think about it, one of the benefits of embracing your quirky side is you'll enjoy a pantload of free entertainment. Your quirks and engaging in them and having fun with them will provide you with more amusement than cable TV, radio, the internet, and even your iPhone. Yeah, you don't need to download more app and more games and more apps on your phone. If you engage in your quirkiness, you're going to have fun all by yourself. Feel free to laugh at yourself. Giggle, smile, get that big belly rolling laugh going. Heck, invite your friends over and let them join in and giggle with you. And as this all begins to happen, the last huge benefit is stress management. Your odd habits are probably going to offer you some clues about some hugely constructive ways that you can relieve your daily stress. Whatever's going on that causes you stress, there are things going on inside your head that where you can relieve that stress in a very constructive and positive way. And think about it. When you get a little anxious or a little stressed out, do you feel yourself turning to music or turning to a piece of wood or grabbing some cooking utensils? There might be some hints on how you can manage your stress in there. All right. I got it, Tracy. Those are all great benefits. Now, hush up with all the benefits. You've sold me. All right. Now, how can I embrace my quirkiness? All right. How can I embrace my olive oil? How can I embrace my Popeye? All right. Well, start by examining your eccentricities, your idiosyncrasies. Take a look at yourself in the mirror. Distinguish between your strange habits that are harmless and those that are creating difficulties with yourself and others. Okay? For example, recreational alcoholic beverage consumption is not a course of study in college. Binge drinking may require professional intervention. Okay? That's a strange habit that might not be so harmless. On the other hand, playing with gears and machines, repairing clocks can be a very rewarding hobby. Okay? So, examine your eccentricities, right? Look for those strange little habits that are harmless and that you enjoy. And the next thing you want to go with is, I know we're all going to have our unique little fun things we like to do, but I want you to accommodate others. Even if your quirks are completely innocent in and of themselves, whistling, for example. My dad loved to whistle, all right? You may want to limit your exposure around others, okay? For example, my dad was strolling down the road whistling, and he was an awesome whistler, right? It was cool. I was just walking along with him. He'd be whistling a little tune, and you could tell exactly what that tune was. And however, sitting down whistling, and even here's another one. I can remember vividly. It was really cool. Could come home from school sometime, Dad be in the kitchen, putzing around, whistling, right, as he was cooking, and I knew what kind of mood he was in. However, sitting down at the dinner table, Mom got a little irritated as the whistles continue. So, your spouse might thank you if you don't whistle at the dinner table. Okay? So, just be mindful of others and enjoy your quirkiness, engage in it, right? But just be mindful of others. Turning down the volume can be another one. Quiet time and solitude will help you get in touch with your quirky side. Find out what you like to do when no one is watching. You know the old saying, dance like no one's looking? When no one's around you and it's just you, what do you like to do? And here's another one. Observe how you tackle or take on challenges and how you organize complex tasks. So pause, step back for a minute, and think about the last time you were given a challenge at work. All right, I'm going to do this. What were the first few things that you did to kind of organize your thoughts or get ready to take on that challenge? There might be some of your unique quirkiness in there, or how you organize a complex task. And on that same note, looking back in time is a great way to engage in your quirkiness, all right? I want you to think back to your childhood. No, don't lay down on the couch and say, all right, doctor, when I was 5 years old. No, not like that, all right? I want you to think back in your childhood because it can be really revealing. You might find that you have hidden interests that go beyond just your hobbies, your professional, or even your family life. I mean, for instance, have you always loved horses? Or have you always loved cats? Have you always been fascinated by the compression engine or by machinery, cogs and wheels and gears? This really tweak your head, right? It gets you going. You're like, ooh, how does that work? And when you get at something new, you gotta crack open the back of it just to understand how it works inside. Or computers, right? How many of us love computers and programming? I was hugely fascinated by computer programs. I learned like 4 or 5 different programming languages in my 20s just because I was fascinated. I even went so far as learning assembly language and writing a couple of programs like that, and that was some tough stuff. But I was so intrigued by it. So look back in time. What have you always loved to do? Your inner quirkiness might be inside there. Okay? Now, quirkiness obviously leads to, I want you to question conventional wisdom. Here's the thing. I'm not saying buck the man. I'm saying independent thinking triggers all kinds of breakthroughs. Your innovative approach to that challenge I just talked about at work could create a better customer experience, reduce processing times. You're going to come up with some new ideas for revenue, etc., etc., etc. Heck, there may even be unique ways that you do things around your home. Or maybe here's one. I see this all the time with the ladies. Ladies have this unique way of combining different pieces of clothing that they maybe even get independently to create a whole new outfit. This whole unique look that is them. Your friends could be inspired by the way you combine that scarf with that drape. I don't know this stuff. I'm just kind of sharing. So these little things, okay? And then maybe it's something as simple as, man, how do you get your living room so bloody clean? Or how do you keep the dog hair off the couch, right? Independent thinking, all right? Question conventional wisdom. All right. And as a part of that, all right, broaden your experiences. I want you to have the courage to be original. And when you have the courage to be original, this is going to, I guarantee, lead to some wonderful adventures. As you try new things, you're gonna have fun. You might have some downtimes where you're like, oh, okay, that was okay. But you're going to increase your knowledge about yourself. You're going to increase your knowledge about your circle of friends. And you're going to increase your knowledge about the world around you and your surroundings. And you're going to personally grow richer in the process. And this is going to lead right into the next one in developing informed opinions. Okay, keep in mind that some opinions are more valuable than others. And we've heard some of those opinions that weren't so valuable, right? And we've heard the ones that were hugely valuable, okay? For example, to elaborate on the reasons why you like red cabbage versus green cabbage, probably unnecessary. Why you part your hair on the left versus the middle or the right, yeah, who cares, okay? On the other hand, I want you to be prepared with the facts. If you have to persuade your boss on purchasing that new piece of software that's going to make your job and 3 other people's job hugely productive, okay? Or you need to persuade your loved one on why you need to go on that wonderful vacation to Monterey, okay? All right. So develop informed opinions. And last but not least, I want you to lighten up. I mean, really, that's the funnest part about being quirky. I want you to, most of all, relax and let go of all those rigid expectations. There are many ways to be an outstanding parent, a wonderful friend, a caring lover, a wonderful spouse, and an engaging neighbor. Okay? And you can do all this and follow your quirks to design the best results for your quirkiness, your situation, and your unique abilities. All right? See, here's the thing. Your quirks, your idiosyncrasies, your eccentricities, they make you more interesting. They make you more accomplished. I want you to go out and celebrate them. All right? Independent thinking opens up way more opportunities for you than you can even imagine. So, celebrate your quirkiness. Go out there and let it open those doors for you. Use your quirks and expand your future. All right? I hope you have a wonderful weekend. We're going to have some hot topics next weekend, some fun stuff. I'm jotting all kinds of notes on what I want to talk with you about. In the meantime, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your quirkiness. Engage the world around you. And think successfully. Take action. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.